Today, we'll be taking Sam's final designs for the Galley and the new mid-cabin jump seats and heading into production. And we're also going to be incorporating some much-needed storage and a shelving unit. That's all coming up on this episode of Do It with Darryl. This morning, I met up with Aiden and Milo at JR's Bravo shop. They had already started framing out the Portside Storage unit. They quickly tacked it together. Then, they dropped a couple of welds along the bottom angles to hold everything in position. Now, it was back to the main shop to get the pieces for the Galley cut and bent. I arrived just as Ryan was finishing up the cut for the countertop. This was a large, continuous run of material, so Milo stopped by to give him a hand. While the guys were taking care of the bends for the countertop, the CNC machine was busy cutting pieces for the shelving unit. This will sit against the starboard side bulkhead. Ryan checks each piece to make sure that the angles are perfect. Aiden starts the fabrication for the countertop by welding the sides to the edge profile.
This is going to be facing forward towards the dash. That's going to be against the back wall, and then the shelving unit goes right around here. This will go, yeah, up against the side wall.
These will add strength and a crisp, clean look to the finish. Jevin dropped by to discuss the underside support frames.
Okay, yeah, so exactly, just the full width of this, I probably only go right to the outside edge.
Yeah.
And then come back and in, and then TIG weld around the whole outside.
Okay.
And it's actually a foot, and then we can snipe this down
to the
relevant
height.
to the height.
Okay.
Yeah, and the flat bars that are going in, I believe, there's one right there.
And then
this one is just because you can't see it.
Yeah, and then this one, I guess.
Like that. Correct.
That way.
Yeah. So it's just the same thing. A foot there, and then a foot from there back.
Yeah.
And then, like you say, we can variable the height from the top when you get down there.
And this one has green too, so.
Yeah, perfect. Okay.
These were tricky pieces to fit because of the change in the compound angle that runs along the length of the pontoon. Aiden can now finish up the countertop welds.
Okay, that's that. Now we head to Bravo.
Then it's back to Bravo shop to install. Ryan A helps block the countertop into position. After a few measurements, Aiden marks out along the top of the backsplash for notches he will cut out to accommodate the vertical wall support. After a little back and forth and a bit of work with the grinder, the countertop drops perfectly into place. This will make a great prep surface for our galley, and there's lots of room for our sink and cooktop. Now it's back over to check up on the shelving unit. It's a good thing the JR shops are less than a minute away from each other. When I arrived, Ty was just adding the last of the shelves. Once the shelving unit was cool enough to handle, Aiden had it in his truck and headed back to Bravo. Meanwhile, Jevin got started on the jump seats for the port side of the cabin.
We got the pivots for the jump seats on the interior port side seating arrangement. We're gonna go ahead and manufacture the hinges, and then we're gonna go ahead and manufacture the seat frames, assemble them all, take them down there, tack them on and see how they look. We got 2 chunks and we actually take all the smarts out of it these days because I'm not feeling very smart. The part can only go one way. It keys it in there. We got exact measurements. No mistakes can be made.
Using the hinge pieces that Ryan had cut out earlier, he quickly welded the assemblies together before starting on the frame for the seats.
Yeah, these are going to be painted because they're in the cabin, so we have a little bit of a masking grace on it, but it just looks nice on the ornamental pieces. $16.5. Okay, here we go. Another lesson that we like to teach here is always cut your long pieces first. A lot of times people will come in and cut all your small bits first, but then you cut up all the pieces that you need to have long ones. It's a silly lesson, but it's the way it is.
Using angled aluminum stock and following Sam's designs, he had the 2 seat frames tacked together in no time.
So that's going to get bushinged, and then this gets welded on the boat, and so this whole assembly will hinge up to save space and then comes down and binds on itself, so it needs no other mechanism.
Now, it was just a matter of running a continuous fillet weld along the joints for each seat. Jevin is a true master. These welds look amazing. The next morning, Hayden and I met at Bravo Shop to tack the jump seats into place. He was careful to leave just enough room between the seats for my Dometic cooler. Another awesome job, guys. It was great to see these pieces added to the interior, and I could hardly wait to get started on more finishing details. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on another episode of Do It with Darryl.